Objective 4. Three-dimensional graphs can be misleading. A total of 2,059 randomly selected adults were asked which school subject has been the most valuable to them in their lives. The responses are described by the three-dimensional graph below. What seems to be confusing about the graph? Well, here, if you take a look at the graph, we have the subject that goes from math, English, science, history, business, and then other. And then here's your percentage going from 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and 40 for the percentages. Now, because of the three-dimensional perspective, it is difficult to tell how the tops of the boxes line up with the scaling on the vertical axis. So we don't know if this goes to 36 or is it under 35. Over here, if we look at English, is that at 20 or is it about 23 or 24? So again, the tops of the boxes don't line up with the scaling for us to be able to have the correct number that we can choose from in the percent. Example, the top 5 countries in wine consumption and their consumptions in millions of gallons are described by the three-dimensional graph below. Also given is the data for the wine consumption. So here's the wine consumption. Here is the three-dimensional bar graph. You have United States, France, Italy, Germany, and China. It goes from 0 to 200, 400, 600, 800 millions of gallons. Over here, we have the country's populations in wine consumption in 2013. So we can see here that here's the population, and here's the wine consumption, millions of gallons. So if we look at the United States, it says 770. So let's take a look. So 770 at the top of that is below 800. But if we look at the top part of it, it goes almost above 800. So the first question states, what type of graph could describe the percentages in a straightforward way? And then constructing the graph. What we can do is just plot a two-dimensional bar graph would be more straightforward, because you're going to have the countries and then you can see the numbers. So here you can see that this is 770, France is 745, Italy is 576, Germany is 536 here, and China is 444. Again, when you're looking at the three-dimensional, you don't know what top you're going to be using for the bar graph. Now, although the United States wine consumption is greater than France's, the U.S. population is much greater than France's. So calculate the wine consumption per person for the U.S. and France. Which country has the larger consumption per person? So the wine consumption per person for the United States, well, we know that the number is 770, and we're going to divide it by the population, which is 316. So again, let's highlight this. So there's the wine consumption for the United States, and then there's the population. So if we take 770 and divide that by 316, it gives us approximately 2.45 gallons per person. And again, that's for the United States. Now the wine consumption per person for France, as we can see here, that the wine consumption is 745 for France. The population is 66. So for France, we're going to take 745, divide that by 66, which gives us approximately 11.3 gallons per person. So now the question states, which country has the larger consumption per person? Well, we can see here that France has the larger consumption per person at 11.3 gallons per person.